welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sitting down and playing with some of my favorite high-end makeup products. Some of them that I feel like are worth the price tag, especially during the Sephora VIB sale. This is going to be kind of like my makeup recommendations that I think are worth the splurge, especially when you are getting the 20, 15, 10% off. I know that there's a lot going on, especially with some people losing their jobs, so this is not to disregard any of those people. I personally do not have an income right now. I am not on unemployment. I don't get anything as a self-employed person right now. Believe it or not, I have not gotten approved for anything. So I'm currently just living off my savings. I personally am not going to be buying anything from this sale. And even without this sale, I don't normally spend a whole bunch of money on makeup. I totally understand it. I totally understand if you are not buying makeup. I don't recommend that you buy makeup if you are in a hard time, if you have lost your job. Makeup should not be a priority, especially not high-end makeup. So I kind of wanted to film this video for those people who are still shopping the sale, who are fortunate enough to have an income right now, or have savings that they want to spend on makeup. That is totally fine. I just wanted to basically film my ride or die makeup products. So I figured what better time to do it than now during the Sephora sale to give you guys a little bit of a discount if you are interested on any of these products. So if you're interested on seeing my go-to ride or die makeup products and my Sephora recommendations, let's just go ahead and get started in today's video. First product that I have really been obsessed with and I love, I tried it just a couple weeks ago, but I've used it every day since, and this is the Benefit the POREfessional Hydrate Primer. I have really enjoyed this primer, particularly because it does hydrate and it also smooths at the same time. So I feel with a lot of, especially like the Benefit POREfessional products, I feel like with a lot of pore filling primers, you get that like silicone-y, weird, like silk kind of feeling. And I know some people like it, but it like irritates me for some reason. I think it's just a texture thing that I really just can't get over. And so I really like this because it's more of like a cream consistency rather than like something that's so silicone-y. So I just really like it. It blends out into literally nothing, but it makes your skin look really nice and hydrated, and then it also helps fill in the pores. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this primer and kind of put it on the areas that need it the most. So right in this T-zone area. It just blends in really nicely into the skin, and I hate primers when I can feel them like just in this area and they literally can't like go anywhere else. I don't know, like the silicone primers just kind of like gross me out in a sense. I don't know why. Is that anybody else? Is it just me? Am I just weird? If you are someone who likes the original POREfessional or the pearl one, you are going to love this if you have dry skin. It just feels amazing on the skin, and I love this one so much more over the other two that they came out with. Now for foundation, my favorite ride or die. This was a very difficult product for me to kind of choose because I have so many amazing foundations that I love. And one that I really am just obsessed with is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation, but this is not my first choice. This is not my ride or die. And the reason is because I feel like I can't recommend it to everyone. Now, when I try and recommend a foundation, I try and find one that you can make a little bit more dewy, or you can keep it nice and matte. So this right here is really just for drier skin types. I feel like with people who have really oily skin, it just kind of slips and slides off the skin. I feel like sometimes when I'm having an oily day and I am not an oily person, even this sometimes tends to just kind of transfer off of my skin. So now when my skin is normal and it's a little bit more dry like it always usually is, this is like my favorite foundation. It looks flawless on the skin, but I can't recommend it to everybody. So I try to choose a foundation that I really believe is going to work for everyone's skin type, no matter what it is. Really love the Lancome Tint Idol Ultra Wear Foundation. This is such an amazing foundation because it has the coverage, has the long wear. I mean, this literally will last you 13 plus hours and it will not budge. I think it looks absolutely beautiful on the skin. It's great for mature skin and it's great for younger skin. This is very full coverage, so if you're someone who doesn't like full coverage, you can mix a pump of this with a favorite kind of glowy primer or with your moisturizer, make it more of a tinted moisturizer. So I just love this foundation. I think it works really great for oily skin, and I think it works really great for drier skin types. If you are going to use this foundation and you do have a drier skin type, I would recommend using, of course, a moisturizer before, as you guys normally would if you do have dry skin. So I just love this one. I'm gonna use the shade 250 BISW, B-I-S-W, I think is what it is. Moving along, if you guys are going to splurge on any concealer, I highly recommend the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. This is such a beautiful concealer. I have used the Tarte Shape Tape. I have used the Too Faced Born This Way. That's absolutely amazing. I love that concealer. However, I think that this one is just stunning. I don't think you have to set it. I still set mine just because I like setting my makeup, but if you're someone who is looking for products and you like more of that like dewy, really kind of fresh look where you don't like to set your makeup, this is definitely the concealer for you because it's going to stay in place. It's not going to crease. It is just such a stunning concealer. I think it makes your under eyes look really awakened, and I think this with this veil powder that I'm going to talk about is just the best combination. So I'm taking this concealer today. This is in the shade Cotton. The reason I recommend this one during the sale is obviously because it's a little bit more pricey. Hourglass is always a little bit pricier than other products. So I just take a little bit right there, a little bit right there on the forehead, down the nose, chin, and right there. I'm gonna ask the question that I've asked on every video during quarantine. How is everyone doing? Are you guys losing your mind? Are you working? Is your life normal right now? Obviously not normal, but you know, if you're working, I think it's a little bit more normal than some of us like me who are not working. The next product that I'm going to talk about is this Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer. This is in the shade Baked. I absolutely am obsessed with this cream contour. I think it is so easy to blend out. It is the perfect shade for so many different skin tones. And the thing that I love about this bronzer is how long it lasts. I got the recommendation from Nicole Cutler, and she has had it for like a year, I think maybe even 2 years now. I have had this product, I think, for like 6 months at this point, and I use it every day, and it literally, like, I have so much of this left. It's crazy. So I just love it. I think it's going to last you probably like 2 or 3 years if you use it every single day, which is so crazy. I used to use the Benefit Hoola Quickie Contour Stick, and that is an absolute amazing product as well, but it definitely doesn't last as long since it is super creamy. This one isn't as creamy as a Hoola one, but it is still so easy to blend out, and I just love the bronze that it gives your skin. So I definitely recommend this one, especially for the price point. I think it's like $36 if I'm not mistaken, which I know can be a high price tag, but at the same time, if this lasts you like 2 years, that is definitely worth it, and you guys are about to see it is so beautiful. So I just put it on my cheekbones, down my nose, and on my forehead. And then my favorite brush that I use to blend it out, you can either use your sponge or a brush. This is a MAC 130 brush, a 130. So now that my cream products are blended out, I absolutely love this setting powder. This is the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. This is the most gorgeous translucent powder. It makes the skin look absolutely airbrushed, and it looks like it has a filter on it. I cannot say enough good things about it. It doesn't give me flashback. I just think it is so beautiful. Obviously, Hourglass products are a hefty price tag, but during this sale, I like to just kind of recommend the products that I think you're going to get the best bang for your buck. And I do definitely believe that you don't have to use as much concealer. And with the setting powder, it just really gives a really nice kind of finish to the skin. So I'm just gonna take my sponge and go under my eyes. I like to take a little bit on the corner and go down my nose. Take it on my cheekbones. I just like to take a brush and brush away all of that baking powder. So as far as face palettes go, I highly recommend the Natasha Denona face palettes. She has the Bronze and Glow palette, and then she also has the Blush and Bloom palette. I definitely think these are worth the price tag because of how much you get in here. You get 4 pans, and I believe they're like $55, and this one particularly is one of my favorites because it has the most amazing highlighter, which is this shade right here. It works really well for a lot of different skin tones. And then you have this kind of shimmer all over powder, which I am obsessed with if you want that all over glow. And then I also love this bronzer right here. It is such a great formula. It is a beautiful shade, so I definitely recommend this palette in particular, which is what I'm using today. But the Bloom palette as well is just gorgeous, and you get 4 different shades as well. If you're someone who's into cream blushes and cream highlights, then this is definitely a really good palette because it has that right there, which is a cream highlighter, and then you have a cream blush in that one. So I'm gonna take the bronzer in this palette right here with this big fluffy brush. This is It brushes from Ulta, and this is Airbrush Powder C7125 brush. The reason why I think this palette is definitely worth your money is because all the shades inside of this Bronze and Glow palette, and then also the blush palette, are so pigmented, so you really don't need a lot. I definitely think it's going to last you a very, very long time, even if it's just the one palette that you use every day. I think you're gonna get your money's worth for sure, and nothing can really beat Natasha Denona's quality, in my opinion. So what I really like to do with this palette is take this kind of all over bronzy shade. It's like a very dark highlight, which I was a little confused about at first. But I like to take this same fluffy brush, dip into that. This is actually my most used shade in here, which is kind of crazy, but I like to take it all over just to give a little bit of a subtle glow to the skin without putting highlighter. So if you're someone who wants that dewy look, but you don't want to put highlight on your skin, this is just a really, really nice kind of all over subtle glow to add. So I like to use this as kind of like an in-between. So you're looking at like going from darkest to lightest. So I like to use this as the middle shade between the bronzer and the highlighter. I don't know if that even makes sense. Now for my favorite part, the highlighter inside of this palette is stunning. It melts into the skin so nicely. You guys are going to be obsessed. I mean, that just kind of speaks for itself, if you're asking me. So, I mean, for $55 and you get all of these shades inside of here, like that's a pretty dang good deal considering it's Natasha Denona quality. I'm gonna go in with this beautiful Natasha Denona Bloom Blush and Glow palette. I just think this is so stunning. If you guys are into cream blushes, this is going to be one of your favorite products. So I like to kind of mix these 2 shades together right here with my blush brush. So I like a pretty decent amount of blush. I think the very pinky, rosy blushes are really in right now. And this just gives the most stunning, I mean, do you guys see that? Like the glow is just, makes your skin look amazing. We're going to do our brows. Now the 2 most recommended products that I absolutely love for my brows are the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. This is in the shade number 2. I haven't found a brow pencil that I love as much as this one. I honestly just really like the shade of this one particularly. And this brow gel is just a really good brow gel. I mean, there's other ones from the drugstore, but if I had to recommend any brow products from Sephora, it would be these 2. Just take the spoolie and brush all my hairs up. I don't really do much to the brows. I just kind of go and fill in my arch a tad bit. And then up here where it's a little bit more sparse. This is like the most dramatic that I'll go with my eyebrows. I don't like them to be too bold. I like them a little bit more natural, but this is like my bold version, I guess you could say. Most of the time I just put like brow mascara on them and call it a day. But since we're doing really nice kind of full coverage glam look, I figured. Favorite eyeshadow palette from Sephora is the Natasha Denona Biba eyeshadow palette. Like I said, pricey, but worth it. Natasha Denona formula is just so good, and this has been such an amazing palette to use every single day for the last, I don't even know how long I've had it. I think it's like the last 6 months that I've had it. I have gotten such good use out of this palette. You just get a lot of good everyday neutral colors, cool tones, and then warmer tones up here. The shimmers in this palette are just stunning. Now, if you're not wanting to splurge and spend like the $100 and something, I would recommend getting this mini palette from Natasha Denona, or any of the mini palettes. I don't have any other one besides this one, but I have heard the nude one is gorgeous and it works just as well with the shadows. So I definitely recommend, if you're going to splurge on an eyeshadow palette, to try a Natasha Denona one. This one is only $25, and I think it has just a really nice kind of color story to it. The 3 shimmers that are in this palette are truly stunning and just unlike anything that I see in shadows. They're really metallic and just have a nice kind of shift to it, so I love that. And then the mattes inside of here are just great as well. So if you're going to splurge, I mean, this is $25 and then 20% off, 15% off, 10% off. I would just recommend trying out one of the mini palettes if you don't want to buy a big one. So these are the 2 palettes that I am going to use today, so I can show you some shades out of each one and how well they perform. So I'm first going to go into the Biba palette and use the shade Prairie, which is this yellow kind of mustardy color right here. And I'm using a Sigma Diffuse Crease E38 brush, and I'm just going to work that into my crease to warm it up. I'm going to take the same brush that I was using and take Vintage Taupe from this palette and build that into my crease. I'm going to take this little Morphe brush. It just came in a little Morphe brush set, so it doesn't have a number on it, but I'm going to take this shade Cocoa, which is this brown one up here, and I'm going to work that inside the crease as well. The next shade I'm taking all over my lid is Pixie, which is this kind of rose gold color right here. It is such a beautiful pinky rose kind of shade. I am obsessed with it. So I'm going to take it on this Sigma Eye Shading E55 brush. Now on top of Pixie, and with that same brush that I used, I'm going to take the shade Monroe, which is this one right here. This is one of my favorite kind of champagne-y pink colors. And I'm gonna put that right on top just to really make that shade kind of pop right there in the middle. I'm gonna take a little bit smaller of a brush and put that Monroe shade in my inner corner, just to kind of make it pop in there as well. With my lower lashes, I'm gonna take the shade Vintage Taupe, and this is a Luxie Mini Round 141 brush. Luxie brushes are really, really good if you guys have never tried them before. I think Sigma and Luxie are like my 2 kind of favorite brands to use. My all-time favorite mascara to use is this Hourglass Caution Extreme Lash Mascara. This is pricey. I think it's like $32, but I haven't found a mascara that makes my lashes look as good as this one. I have found drugstore that makes my lashes look amazing, but definitely not as good as this. I don't know what it is about this brush or this formula that truly just makes my lashes look so good. I like this formula because it's not waterproof to where it's extremely hard to take off, but it's also not waterproof to where it runs all day long. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of in between. You guys know what I mean. It's just right in the middle. It's that perfect in between kind of formula. I'm just gonna do one eye so you guys can see the difference, but I have probably bought like 4 tubes of this mascara ever since I got hooked on it. I just haven't stopped. I've tried the Benefit Roller Lash again. That used to be one of my favorites. I've tried the They're Real mascara. I've tried the Milk Kush mascara. I've tried so many different ones and nothing does it quite like this one. I also really like the fact that this mascara isn't super watery. Like, it doesn't take a really long time to dry down. I hate mascaras that I try and like put falsies on, you know, like a minute after and they're still wet, or you like blink and the mascara goes everywhere. This is definitely not that type of mascara. You guys can see, like, look at the difference. Look at the difference. Like, this is the finished eye look with the mascara and stuff completed. So the only thing that I have left is lips. Now, I personally can't recommend a high-end lip liner because I just think that there's so many good dupes in the drugstore that you should not spend your money on high-end lip liner. That is what I truly believe. I know that Charlotte Tilbury makes amazing ones, but like, that's $35 in comparison to this like $3 LA Girl lip liner. I just can't. It's a lip liner, you guys. Like, don't waste your money on that. Please don't. If you're gonna spend $35, spend it on this mascara. Spend it on this palette. Do not spend it on a lip liner, okay? Now, one thing that I do recommend from Sephora that I don't think that I could live without, and I think is definitely worth the price tag, is this Buxom full-on plumping, either it's lip cream or lip gloss. I think that they are just stunning. They make your lips truly look so full, so juicy. It's not super sticky. It's not super thick. I love the formula. I think it really just does a beautiful job at tingling the lips, but not making it look or feel like not safe, if that makes sense. I just think it's a great plumping lip gloss. So my favorite shades are the White Russian and Pink Champagne. I have this in a full size, but I think it's in my purse and I don't feel like going to grab that. And then Pink Champagne is a beautiful shade as well. So they're very, very similar. I'll kind of swatch them both so you guys can see. Now, Pink Champagne is obviously a little bit more pinky. And then the White Russian one is a little bit more kind of peachy. So this is White Russian right here, and this is Pink Champagne. So this is like a pure baby pink. This is more of like a peachy color. So do with that what you will, but I am going to take my LA Girl lip liner and all right, so this is the completed look to today's makeup tutorial using all of my favorite high-end makeup products. And I hope that it did help you guys if you're wanting to pick up some new items from the Sephora VIB sale. If you guys are not, like I said, don't feel bad. I personally am not picking up anything because I am not employed right now, so don't feel bad, you guys. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's makeup tutorial and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye.